all. Welcome to the Architectural Review Board meeting of November 18, 2025. I just have to let everybody know we have 3 board members here tonight. We have a quorum, but you need 3 votes to approve or disapprove any application. So if you don't want to be heard until we have a full board, you have to let us know before we hear your application. We can't start talking about your application and then change your mind. So I'm assuming everybody wants to go ahead. Okay, so we have 3 on the agenda here tonight. We have 73 Oak Street. We have 17 Oneck Road. And we have 132 Main Street. Oneck Road is a holdover, so if we could take that first. This is Nancy Berner, 17 Oneck Road. This is a 2-story, single-family dwelling, 7 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, 2 half-bath, over a crawl space with attached 3-car garage, roofed-over wrap entry porch, 3 fireplaces, a screened porch with a partial balcony above, sanitary system, driveway, and landscaping. Good evening.
Good evening, Nicholas Vera, architect, 120 Mill Road, West Hampton Beach. Mr. Chairman,
Bear with us for a moment. So bear with me for a moment. Okay.
I think, sorry, the description said 3-car garage, correct?
It was advertised as a 3-car garage, but the new drawings that we have show a 2-car garage.
Prior to the previous meeting, we had submitted changes to our plans. We made the house smaller, and we did reduce 3-car garage to 2-car garage. We just cut the square footage out. So I apologize for the confusion from the last meeting. I wasn't here for that. I believe you were looking at the older plans as opposed to the newer plans that we have submitted. So assuming that everybody has those drawings.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the last meeting, you weren't here, but Katrina, the woman that was here, we had asked a couple of questions about the front side of the building. We had asked if it had a curve to it. She said no, but now looking at the floor plans, which we have, I think it's a lot clearer that the curve is on the porch.
Curve is on the porch.
And the porch is only a 1-story porch. It doesn't go up to the second floor.
Yeah, I think, again, looking at that, the comment was we did have a curved element on the south elevation, which was a 2-story space that has since been eliminated. So,
Okay.
drawings that you have, the current floor plans you have, the current elevations that you have is the correct submission.
Okay. So if you could just go over the materials.
Yes, I gave you a list of material specifications, and I gave you a cut sheet of all the materials that we're looking to do. We described our porch columns, we described our entry door, this mahogany door, we described our chimneys as being the red brick, which is a samples that you do have. The pool enclosure has been defined as white picket fence, again, as part of the submission. We showed you details of our siding and AZAC trim, and the details that we're using. Patios and walkways to be bluestone. We described our wall sconces, our railings and our roofing to be a wood cedar perfection shingle roof.
Right. So the roof is cedar.
Siding is
cedar. AZAC trim.
Correct.
And I think that was it on the materials other than the chimney, correct?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other questions on the house itself?
Just where the air conditioning units or stuff for the house going to be?
We'll probably wind up in the, there's a little alcove by the garage. We'll probably wind up hiding those air conditioning units right in that space right there.
You're not making any trim or that's outside, I'll stay with the house, okay.
And then you also have a submission of a landscape plan too, which I don't know was discussed at the last hearing, but pretty self-explanatory what we're looking to do.
Are we on to that yet?
We're still on the house.
Lance, are we
Do
still
you
on the
have any
house?
questions on the house
Oh,
itself?
no.
Okay, so we can move on to the
Yes.
site plan, landscaping. The house is being moved north, closer to the corner of Onak Road in Bayfield,
Correct.
keeping all the existing trees around the perimeter.
Trying to keep as many existing trees as we can. We had an arborist come, identify quite a few specimen trees on the property. The majority of those trees will be saved. There are more than several large copper beech trees, which are a little unique to our area. They're beautiful trees, and we will be saving those, so.
Okay, and there are no gates.
No gates.
No gates, no driveway posts.
Correct.
All right.
And the fence is staying?
The fence is the fence around the pool enclosure?
No, as you come in the driveway, isn't there a fence on the,
No. That's next door.
Okay, so anything that's got fences, the pool
is the
enclosure.
pool?
Yes, just the pool enclosure.
And that's all, it's
Existing, we're replacing, yeah, it's wood, so some of it is rotting and deteriorating, so we're replacing it with the pool enclosure that we're showing, which is, Yvonne, I gave you a description of it also. It's a white vinyl picket fence post, it's flat finish.
Okay. Anything else, Peg?
No?
Nope. Okay, can we get a motion to approve this application?
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Can you give me that, Mike? Yes. There you go. Sign that. Thank you. Okay, next, let's take the application for David Blackburn, 73 Oak Street. This is for a two-story, single-family dwelling, 5 bedrooms, 6.5 bathrooms, over a partially finished basement with a cellar entrance and egress well, covered entry porch, gas fireplace, roofed-over porch, front and rear roof deck balconies, in-ground swimming pool with a patio at grade, an enclosure fence, hot tub, sanitary system, driveway, and landscaping. Good evening.
Evening.
How are you?
Good. Eric Peterson, architect.
I'm sorry.
Eric Peterson, architect.
And Amanda Schiraldi of Eris Design.
Eric with a C or a K?
I see.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Amanda Schiraldi of Eris Design, Landscape Architecture.
Amanda?
Schiraldi, SCHIRALDI.
Okay. Good evening.
Evening. I brought in material samples. This is just the raised stucco siding and the cedar, the vertical cedar. So, it's a leave it here.
Okay, can you tell us about the application?
Yeah, it's a.
I'm sorry, you folks are
Contractor and homeowner.
homeowner? Okay.
Yeah, the client, David Blackburn and his wife, Karen, we've developed a house that is, it's a modest, it's kind of, it's about 22 feet tall, flat roof. It's meant to be kind of low slung, using just kind of contextual materials with the stucco siding and the cedar siding. And then we're looking at windows and doors being like of a gray color, painted gray. And working with that it's I think a total of 3 or 4 bedrooms, just 4 bedrooms on the top. Forget the. Right. So yeah. So modest size house, and we worked with Eris to develop the landscape design to make sure that it was well screened from the street. It's not entirely that visible, and it's well hedged along the rest of the property. I'll let that be detailed, I guess, in the next part of the presentation, but the majority of the house, as seen from the street, would be of this mixture of cedar and stucco. So if there's any questions about that, I'm happy to answer.
Okay. How did you come up with this design? How do you feel that this fits in with the adjoining properties?
Yeah, no, that is a good point. The streetscape, there's a mixture of Victorian-type homes, lower one-story pitched roofs, and, with the other buildings that are kind of closer to Montauk, it's certainly a mixture, and I understand that may give some pause, given that a lot of the more modern construction is closer to the beach. But this was a style of home. We looked at a pitched roof option early in the design process. Partly, we arrived at this looking through like a cost analysis, but also this is really something that appealed to the clients. This is something that was important to them. That this is something that they liked. The design. We're not looking for it to be overly aggressively modern. Again, we were trying to use contextual materials, and in combination with having it well screened from the street, it would be really the amount of visibility of the house as it would present onto Oak would be low. That's the way that we, so the clients, obviously, this was their preference of a house, and then in consideration to the neighborhood and the community, spending time to use, mature trees to screen it, that was the opportunity that we had to make sure that it wasn't.
Other than the screening, you're talking about screening so that you're screening the appearance of the house.
Well, yeah, and again, it's not that elevated too. So I understand that in terms of in concert with like the streetscape, it's a little out of place for sure.
Well, the board is charged with the aesthetics of the house, considering the neighborhood. So when you look north, south, east, and west, does it fit in with the neighborhood? When you chose the location, I'm assuming, like the location in terms of what the houses are like there. And this is a very modern, flat roof, contemporary structure.
No, it's acknowledged.
You're
Yeah.
charged with,
Right.
it, blends with the neighborhood, or it doesn't blend with the neighborhood.
It's a fair point. It's something that I think, given the scale of the homes, the spacing of the lots, and the mixture of styles of homes, obviously they're more traditional in nature. I would say I would agree with that statement. But there's such a variety of homes on that street. The question is at what point would it change, right? Like when would the first one to go away from that, obviously, that more traditional style. So again, this was just a preference that was strongly, from the clients in terms of that was their preference. They liked it. in terms of acknowledging the fact that there is a streetscape to contend with, that's where using contextual materials, using local, like these are, cedar and stucco are common on many homes, and keeping the house low was an attempt to recognize that this isn't obviously a traditional home, and we're trying to make it fit so that it doesn't stand out. And that's, again, in combination with using the landscape
Well, I think
design.
there's a question was asked, does it fit in?
Right.
Does this house fit in with the flat roof, square structure, blank wall on Oak Street?
It's different, I would say. Obviously, it's different from.
Question is, does it fit in?
That's what we're charged with.
Yeah.
And we have a responsibility to neighbors who bought on that street, either bought a traditional house or built a traditional style house. Personally, I don't feel that this fits in. Peggy, any
Yeah, it's just,
comments? Also, I don't
there's no
think,
flat roofed homes in that entire street or that whole neighborhood. So it's definitely out of place, and there's no windows on that whole one side that. I think that's important as well.
Yeah, I'll also will ask maybe the client to come up to talk a little bit about that too.
sorry?
I'll ask maybe the client to come up too to give his thoughts.
Fine.
Just put in, I would say that, again, the style of home that we selected, again, it's such a mixture on that street, and I would argue that in time, eventually there may be a change, right, from traditional to something else, and that's where the question is it this house? Would this be the first house? And obviously.
I'm just questioning if this is the time.
Well, yeah, no, this is something that we all came up with as the plan of attack, so I'll let.
Mr. Blackburn. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. So, what exactly are you asking me about if I?
I'm sorry?
Well, I just wondered what exactly you're asking me if I.
Do you feel that this blends in with Oak Street, the other houses on Oak Street? First question.
Well, I think there's such a variety on Oak Street. I don't think there is really a theme on Oak Street. I mean, it's there's a lot of very old houses, very small houses, and my thought was that probably houses which are going to get changed over time. So, does it fit in with all of the others? It's definitely different to the others, but I think it's going to fit in with what probably, from a futuristic standpoint, is going to be the structure of that particular street. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think it's something that's going to, look ugly in a few years or anything like that. It's something that, hopefully is going to be part of, the beach village, basically.
You're saying in the future,
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the houses on the street are very old, and and in some of them are in state of disrepair, etc. So I think things are going to be changing on the street. So I don't know exactly how it has to fit in exactly with the street as it stands now, because my thoughts when we bought it were the street is in a process of changing anyway.
okay. Do you have anything to offer?
I'm the landscape architect.
Okay. And I think what Eric was saying, that the landscaping is going to help to shield the house, so it's not as
Right, so,
obvious how a modern house.
right, so we are proposing 10 to 12 foot height cryptomeria hedge along the front to kind of soften the streetscape and help make it more of like a native vegetation. We plan on doing grasses to the streetway, so the hedge is set back quite a bit, so that way we have room for the town's right of way to make that a nice area as well. And then we're proposing the screening hedge around the property on all three sides to maintain the privacy and evergreen screening from the neighbors.
There were no stucco houses on that street either, right?
I mean, again, I didn't document the next stucco house, and that's where, again,
I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the picture that you submitted doesn't support your project, meaning that it doesn't say, well, they look similar. I don't know if there are any houses on Oak Street that are, number one, contemporary or stucco. I think this is 90% stucco house with wood trim, so maybe it's 10-15% vertical siding and 85-90% stucco. And as Peggy said, that north wall is one blank wall, has no architectural.
it's true, that was more for privacy, that part of it was also, it's, again, I mean, when we think of elevated homes, modern homes like beach homes, those are usually 20, 30 feet or more up in the air, right, so very prominent. Given that this is obviously at grade, it's not obviously, I think that's another consideration, and part of it was really just respect to the neighbors. I mean, it's true, we could add windows and look to improve the aesthetic, so to speak, of the other sides, if that was desirable. It was more about just not putting eyes on that side of the
As
street.
you're coming from the north and you're seeing this north elevation, you're looking at a 90% stucco blank.
Yeah, and that's where, on the ground floor, I would say, half of that would be, if not more, with grasses and other vegetation, so absolutely. And if the conversation was, obviously, if we could add more cedar siding, right, that's a separate conversation. Certainly, we could look at, trying to make the materials, more cedar, right, and less stucco. That's absolutely something we can consider. I would say on the ground floor, it was more about just simplicity and cost, keeping it stucco, given that we were going to spend the money on the vegetation, on the plantings. Certainly, I understand that, that, like you said, is very stark when you see no other, really stucco structures. So that's acknowledged.
Flat roofs.
Or flat roofs. So it's a matter of if we can maybe come back with more of another option where there's more wood siding, right? I think, again, we were trying to be mindful of the adjacent neighbors. We're not putting eyes on them on the side yards. Like, we didn't feel it was necessary to put windows where it wouldn't be visible from the street, and it wasn't necessary for the floor plan to have windows, so we're happy to put windows on that. It was just more of, it was for privacy mainly, that was it.
All we could do is give you what we'll hope is constructive comments, not in keeping with the neighborhood. So if you want to go back and discuss it more, we can hold it over.
Yeah, I'd like that, please, yeah, to hold it over. I think it's fair.
Is that okay with you? Anything else, any other comments?
No, I think you covered it,
I mean, you know our code.
you know what it is, we're not making decisions about how you should be an architect, but we are charged with making things fit the neighbor. Now, whether they're old or not, they do have roofs.
Yeah.
And most of them have roofs, and they're not on the beach.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I understand your position and what you're charged with, from the community. And again, I mean, we're not adding, like, we didn't ask for a rooftop deck or any of those things. So, I mean, we're trying to be mindful of that, keep it low. I understand the main point is the fact that it's got no pitched roofs, and every other house does. So, certainly we can talk about it, and if we can hold it over, I think that would be smart.
Right?
All right, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, all neighbors are just working with each other.
I mean, we get comments from people saying, how could you approve that, even when we thought it was okay? And
No, absolutely, it's a fair point. We'll look to regroup, and come back.
so, give us some idea of time-wise, 2 weeks, 30 days, more than that, or?
Let's start with 2 weeks, yeah. In terms of the next board meeting is in 2 weeks, or is it the holiday?
December,
December
Yeah,
2nd.
but the deadline is Friday.
Yeah, so
okay.
we're gonna need 30 days, yeah, so.
Have to be the next
All
one.
right, so whenever you're ready, if you
December
submit it to Daniela, we'll get you on the next available agenda.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Also, can I ask you a quick question? You said Cryptomira,
Cryptomere, yes.
they go 70 feet, right?
Can, but not
Okay.
15, yes.
Just want to make sure I have the right.
You need to.
Okay, so can we get a motion to hold over this application?
I'll make the motion to hold it.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay, next we have the application Sexton Realty Company, 132 Main Street. This is for a sign plan for Sexton's Commons. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good. I don't really have anything prepared to present just because I haven't received the feedback, so looking forward to hearing your thoughts then.
Okay, we look forward to giving you some thoughts.
Okay.
We've all discussed it with our previous board members and our current board members, and I think I wrote something down. Here it is. I think the comments were, the signs that are up there, like for example, White's, looks very, what was the word, Peggy? Bland?
Bland, yeah,
Bland.
boring maybe.
Understood. I actually had proposed two different, one with black backgrounds and the white outline to make it pop on the buildings, and also the one presented to you guys with the white background. It's just what the majority of the units favored was the white background with the outline. They like it very simple. It was just design preference on their end.
Okay, I mean, I can understand that. So what about possibly making the border bolder? Right now, when you look at this, bear with me a second. Well, any one of them. There's a line and then there's a border.
Yeah, it's a pinstripe. It's set about, I think, a quarter-inch in. We could extend it to the edge if you think that would make it pop more, give some
So
contrast.
the thinner line here, is that just the outline of
Yeah,
the
it's
sign?
just the border of the sign. There's no actual, design element to that.
If you made the border a wider border, 1.5, 2 inch like those frames, I think the sign would pop. Right now,
No, I agree with you 100%. It was just, I'm dealing with clients. They have preference. You know how it is.
That's one of the
So,
comments.
but yeah, I could adjust that. That's no problem.
So I guess one of the comments is to make the border darker. There was a comment about making it red, but I don't know if that's gonna go.
Yeah, that might clash with what they're going for, because if you notice, some of the signs don't have a red element.
Right.
Right.
So I thought the black was just more consistent with the majority.
I'm fine with that, if the board is okay with that. I think the other thing was, we wanna make sure that all the green and gold signs come off, and
yes.
all the new signs go up at the same time, that we don't have some green and gold and some
No,
new
understood.
signs.
Yes.
Okay? And what I would ask you to do, not necessarily you, but what be done, instead of putting, this is the plan of the old sign plan,
Yes, that's the old from.
on the blank, to put unit numbers.
I think I did draw and label the numbers on there. Is it? It should be.
Well, they're marked, but it still says, like, this one says Sexton's.
I'm flipping into the
If
second.
you use, suggestion, if you use this one that's blank and put unit numbers, if somebody moves out of unit number 7 and John's men's store is going in unit 7, he knows he has to comply with
Yes.
what
Yeah.
was approved.
Definitely, and it will be in the village records, right? That there is a sign plan for the property,
Yes.
and they will have to come before you again.
Should I give this back to you?
Yeah, if you'd like, that's no problem.
Well, I'm giving it back to you so you could
Yeah, I'll
utilize the
draw on
second
it for
sheet,
you.
which I think is a good blank.
Yeah, no problem.
And
Good.
what else? The ground sign?
Ground sign.
Well, it
Sign,
should be-
that's gone too, right?
Yeah, it's being
It's gonna be
replaced.
that
There
one.
should be a page in there. Yep.
On the
With
front,
the same style of
in
the
the
ones.
same spot?
Same spot,
With
yep,
the
very
two-
close in size, yep. We're gonna use, I think it's 4x4s that we're gonna paint white, I believe, and then it's gonna be a background of 1-inch PVC Letters on the top will be carved out, hand painted, and the boards, of course, will be corresponding to the units on the
The
building.
Sexton Commons is gonna be carved off?
Yeah, just think of it, it's, I think the main sign that's there now is carved.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
giving it some reference there as well.
Okay. And is it possible to like get a planter or something instead of just two posts?
It's gonna actually be pretty far into the ground. It'll be almost the same height as the current one. I think it's only about a foot, maybe a foot and a half to the bottom of the sign or so. So you don't have much exposed of the poles there, you know what I mean? And also, I don't really deal with the landscape, so I'm just a sign maker. But I'm sure, you could talk to the property owner, or I could mention it to them. I'm sure it's doable.
Yes.
I just think rather than two
Yes,
posts, because the height of the sign is 56 inches. You're only limited to 6 feet to the
Above,
top of the
yeah.
sign.
Right.
Okay, well, that doesn't leave much of the post, though. That's not an accurate of the post from the bottom there is not, to the ground. I
So
can
it's shorter
resubmit.
than what's shown here.
Yes, yeah, it's not gonna, that was just a mock-up of, how it's gonna look proposed, but,
That would be my comment.
okay.
Well, do you have anything, do you have anything planned for the base of the sign when you put it in? Whether it's 12 inches or 6 inches, like gravel or something, just not just stuck in the ground?
No, we're really just gonna probably use the same holes that are there, maybe dig it out a little more, and we put about 24 inches under the ground for stability, sometimes more. But, no, I don't have anything further. I'm just making the sign and installing it, so.
So who could you talk to about?
I can definitely run it by the property manager. She would be the person in charge of that, and I could see if it's something they could,
Who's the
recommend.
property manager?
Nora Finathan, I think she's been before you guys before. Yeah,
And
yeah,
who's
she's
the
dealt
owner?
with the village
And
before.
who's the owner?
All different owners. Each unit is a different owner almost. Some of them own 2 or 3, like Whites, but yeah, it's all, I'm dealing with, 14 different people.
Lucky you.
I know, right? It's been fun.
I go way back to Mr. and Mrs. Sexton.
Right, yeah. That's
It's quite a store that they had.
Yeah.
You could buy anything
Yep.
from
Hockey puck.
anything from hockey puck underwear to
Underwear.
a set of china.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so hopefully this gives you some comments
yeah,
and
is
Is there
feedback.
any possibility of submitting that and getting it approved, like, without coming to the next meeting? If I resubmit all the stuff to you guys for review? Just because they've been waiting since, like, July. I mean, it's them, too, getting back to me
I
that
think
holds it
if you
up.
submit it, wouldn't December 5th be okay to sign?
No,
it?
I can
It's a
come back
second.
before, but just because they're small changes, if it's possible. If it's not possible, it's not a big deal.
I
It's
think we
just,
want to have a drawing that we could sign, stays in the village office, and if somebody comes into Unit 7, it's
all
a
right,
stamp.
that's fine then. Yeah, okay, so December 5th.
Good.
Second, okay, sounds good. Well, you send the agenda anyway, so.
3 days sooner now.
Yeah. Thank you, guys, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good
Can we get
night.
a motion to hold over this application.
I'll make a motion to hold over this application.
I'll second it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Aye,
We'll get a motion to hold this over.
I did.
I seconded.
You got that then?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye. Okay, what's the other thing though?
That's it.
That's it. What else would you like?
Well, I thought, okay, no, that's it.
Want to make a motion? Sure.
That's what it was. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Aye.
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 Thanks, everybody. Everybody have a good Thanksgiving.
Yes, everybody, chow down, as they say.
Are we off?
We're up.